Today is Saturday, the 15th of February 2025. It is 28 degrees Celsius in Barbados. And today D&J Drives will continue exploring the parish of St. James in part 2 of this journey. Last time we ended at this point where you can have a lovely view of the ocean from Joe's Drive in Fitz Village, and we continue. We ended just about here the last time, so we're going to continue exploring the parish of St. James today, all in keeping with our Exploring the Parishes series or program. We're looking at the whole of St. James, from Westmorland to the top to Prospect at the bottom. We've covered all of that already, coming up from Prospect in part 1 of the drive. And we were saying last time that St. James runs all along the west coast, which is known as the Platinum Coast in Barbados. The highest end tourism product can be found in St. James on this very coast. As you can see, today is a beautiful day, and you can see the blue seas out there, very beautiful beaches. St. James is a very high-end parish in terms of the tourism product. Some of the most expensive properties in Barbados can be found in St. James, and it's a very celebrated area. The oldest Anglican church is the St. James Parish Church, and this was where the British settled Barbados. So this parish is it's a very important one, and I made the point last week that it's a sort of, the shape of it is like an upside down boot, and it's almost like the shape of Trinidad if you look at it, but in a truncated version. And I forgot to make the point that my son asked me to make, and I don't know why he just doesn't make it himself, but he's still camera shy and he directs me from the side, that Barbados has a shape somewhat like the continent of Africa. So if you turn it upside down, it looks like Africa. So that's just a little bit of information there. So we're turning off, look at this lovely chattel house here, turning off Highway 1 to go on to Risk Road. This is a very well-known area in St. James, and we're just gonna go right up Risk Road. A few years ago this road was resurfaced and it was a big celebration. So this is a residential area that has a mixture of properties, newer to older, luxury to simplicity. But this is Risk Road. So if anybody from Risk Road is seeing this, this is your neighborhood. There's a little boat on the side there. And how we know Risk Road, someone asked, how is it that we know so many areas in Barbados? Well, apart from studying maps to plot these drives, sometimes we go to places. Look at this little shop here on the left, always has people having a drink. But sometimes we go to areas because we get invited, and we find little spots, and the reason we know this road is because of this establishment right in front of us, Lemon Rock Bar. They sell some nice food in here. They have karaoke. It's closed at the moment, it seems, and we have to give a bigger prop to that establishment because it's really some really good food and great service, and it's a nice little area to come on a Saturday for some food or Friday night. As you can see, the road narrows, so there's hardly anywhere to turn, but this is a typical residential area in Barbados. Very humble community type vibe, and the type of place that if you needed a glass of water, you could just ask any of the neighbors. Just had a bit of a scare there because someone was screaming, but that's just children having fun. So this is the first area that we are exploring today, and as a reminder, St. James is surrounded by St. Peter at the top or the north, St. Andrew to the top right or northeast, St. Thomas to the east, and St. Michael to the south. So this is a very tight area to drive, but you can see it's still early in the day, so you're not seeing too much activity outside at this time. So there are two shops in here. This shop that doesn't have a name but always has people. And we're back on Risk Road, and we'll just turn off one or two of them just to show you what it's like up in here. But you have to decide where to turn, because if you're coming up in here, you're coming up in here to go to a specific home. So if you get lost, or you're doing like us, taking a drive, you would tend to have nowhere to turn unless you turn in someone's property and hope that they're not offended. Look at the view from here. Very, very nice. Just makes one want to jump into the sea and just have a nice swim. Some nice houses here with views of the ocean. This is Risk Road. See the lovely view. So this is Barbados, a very proud country, very clean country relatively speaking. Not to say that Barbados doesn't have its fair share of pollution, but a very clean country compared to many other places. Every square mile is used because space is limited, so you will find homes and development everywhere. A very proud, oh, this is affecting the view here, the sun. We will come out of it shortly. Sun just got the better of the camera. That's the risk of doing drives so early in the day when the sun is out at its meridian, as they say. When the sun is at its meridian. So we've done a bit. There are more roads to turn off on in here, but we'll just think you've got the idea. So that's Risk Road. Check out this piece of the beach here, how blue it is. You see the sign that says Fitz Village, and this is what works for D&J drives because it's a more or less a tourism-based economy. You always have signs everywhere, so you're never lost really. You can tell what parish you're in. You can tell when you enter and exit a parish just because of the signs. So sometimes we get the marks slightly off, but we would never be too far off because you always have a sign somewhere in Barbados to show you where you are. Right? So for example, here we are in Derrick's St. James. Look at the properties to the left. All of these are multi-million-dollar properties or resorts. We just passed a residential area on the right that we were meant to turn into, so we have to make up for that somehow, hopefully. And as you know, this is the Cliff restaurant. It is said to be the most expensive restaurant in Barbados. And this is the monument with the crash of the Cubana Airlines, and we did that in one of our earlier videos. And having said that, I'm sure our subscribers would like to know that D&J Drives has officially completed 1 year. 1 year of its existence. We're going to turn up Holders Hill now. D&J Drive started in February 2024. I believe the first video was released on the 9th of February, that's right. So we've been doing this for 1 year. A father-son duo who started off on a mission to showcase the road network in Barbados, and we've collected so many subscribers along the way, so we now have a little community of people following what we do and making recommendations of drives that we should record and things that we should say and things that we shouldn't say, and it's been a really exciting journey. Of course, it will soon probably one day come to an end because Barbados is relatively small space, and there will be only that much that we can record. So we're making our way all the way up Holders Hill, and this is a very upscale area. Don't be fooled by the properties that are on the main road. Holders Hill, there are many spots in here, that many left and right turns that take you into very high-end properties. We're actually into Thorpe's now. Thorpe's main road, and there's a cricket ground there. So we're just taking you all up to all of these various areas. Here is a ZR driver playing police, telling us when to stop and when to proceed, so that he can put some passengers' life at risk for them to be crossing the road based on his say-so, at the risk of being knocked down by someone less tolerant than this driver. These ZR drivers, we can do a whole blog or podcast on ZR drivers, but that's another topic for another time. So all of this is Thorpe's. This pharmacy here, Avis Pharmacy Limited, that has been around for so long. All of this is a main road through St. James. Seems to be a solar farm or something going up there. This right turn takes you into Husbands and Oxnards and those places. And this is the constituency office for Mrs. Sandra Husbands, St. James South. And it's useful to say that St. James is a very densely populated parish. It's a very important parish. It accounts for 3 seats in the Parliament: St. James North, St. James South, and St. James Central. And those members of Parliament are the Honourable Kerry Simmons, Sandra Husbands, and Edmund Hinkson. I almost forgot his name. Edmund Hinkson. Within this parish is also the Queen's College, one of the more popular secondary schools in Barbados. Also the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology. We've just turned into it. This is the entrance, and we're not staying, so we're just turning in just to bring it to the attention of our subscribers. This is that facility out here. Very important institution in terms of monitoring weather conditions and hurricanes and forecasting, and this is also a division of the University of the West Indies, if I'm not mistaken. So we rejoin this main road, Thorpe's, and we will continue just to take you to the point of Queen's College. We won't go all the way into it because we covered here already, but because Queen's College is one of the more popular schools in Barbados, and because we always try to cover whatever schools of interest are in the area, we'll just make a turn just to show you where Queen's College is. But Queen's College is to the right of this camera, this main road, which becomes Cave Hill main road, and we have Queen's College to the right, and we will just turn here. Enter Queen's College. Just give you a nice little view of it. A very beautiful building, or set of buildings. Very popular school. Some argue this is the top school in Barbados. Some argue no, it's Harrison College, and then others continue that argument as to whether it is St. Michael or Christchurch Foundation School or Alexandra, and you get the idea. But this is Queen's College, right? So we've shown you a lot of it. We covered Queen's College in a previous drive, so we're just popping in there. There's a lot of ground to cover in today's drive. Part 2 of exploring the parish of St. James. So this is Cave Hill Road that we exit onto, and we make our way to Prior Park. So Prior Park is a middle to high income residential area, and we received a special request from one of our treasured subscribers who's asked us to cover Prior Park. So here we are. If you're viewing, we hope that you are pleased. This is the first turn off, which just takes you into someone's home. So we can't do too much here. Just turn off to show you all what the area is like. So notice that this turn off takes you directly into two properties, and this is a major road here in Prior Park. This is the main road in Prior Park, and there are homes here to the left and to the right. Some of them are much older properties. This is another turn off into Prior Park. Notice how clean the area is. The roads may not be in the best condition, but this is the area. Another cul-de-sac. And it's hard to turn in these areas because they don't leave much. Because if you're coming in these areas, you're coming to one of the homes in here. So this is another turn off. Very peaceful. Now you can see the stop sign here, so that shows you that we are on the major road in Prior Park. I think they call the area High Park. get a look at these homes in here, how lovely, and still a lot of land available. There's a sign here for sale, so there's land in here for sale. Huge structure here on the left. So you have an idea of the area. Prior Park, St. James. These are the areas of the high walls and high fences, electric gates and other security measures. So our subscriber who asked us to cover this area, we're not certain which neighborhood you wanted us to venture into, but this is our attempt at satisfying the requests of our subscribers. This road is currently under construction. This left turn takes you into Fitz Village. Entire road is being redone. In fact, there's a sign at the entrance saying detour. So if you look right ahead, you can see there's not much room for exploration here because this entire road is under construction. This sign here says private property, we're not allowed to go through. D&J Drives always respects signs like that. We don't want anyone reporting us to say that we are compromising their privacy or trespassing. So this is as much as we can do for Prior Park. There are other areas down there we can turn into some nice this is Prior Hill on the left. Turning into Fitz Village. Fitz Village number 2. Halls Lane. houses under construction. And you see the name Hall's Village, just the use of the word village. From the time you enter, it changes the nature, the character of the area. You can see the difference in the architecture and even the size of the homes. So when somewhere is known as village in Barbados, it has a certain character associated with it. But when you have something as heights and terraces and see Hall Village, this is where we are now. The roads are very different. The architecture changes. It's a very interesting cultural complexity. Village. Brings us right back out just to the left here by Dr. Murray's office and Elgar Pharmacy, or rather the office of the retired Dr. Murray, Andrew Murray, and back out onto Thorpe's Main Road. So we went through Prior Park and came right back out to Thorpe's through Hall Village, and all of this is inside of St. James. Next stop is into a well-known residential area. Sugarcane Avenue, but all here is husbands. Come down this road and you can see the sort of steady structure of the houses here. This is sort of a development, a specific modern era, well, modern being in the 70s and 80s, and all of these houses here, 2nd Avenue East, you can see all of them have a similar layout, similar size plot, properties like this one, some of them on pillars. And this is on the lower level. Elevates as well. So this is the settlement in here. This is similar to the drive we did of St. Michael when we covered areas like West Terrace, not West Terrace, Wanstead Gardens. Like a maze in here. Sort of has a feel like a Kingsland Christchurch. Hopefully you all have been following those drives. So we're back on the main road here. And this is the same road we turned into. It leads down to roundabout. Sugarcane Avenue. We will just go around the roundabout so you can see the whole area. Avenue West. So this is a typical St. James neighborhood. Typical middle income residential area. Densely populated. This area is also very popular for the non-national students of the University of the West Indies. A lot of them rent places out here. This elevated area, there are some bigger properties. And even an old abandoned property like this one. So when you turn here, get a nice view. Okay, so we've explored quite a bit of this area. Time to move on. houses in here. This is Barbados. Now we're back onto the main road. Thorpe's main road / Holders Hill, leading into Holders Hill. So nice if one of these vehicles would let us out. And we're off. So a short while ago we turned in here, the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology. We turned left here and went into Prior Park at the request of one of our subscribers. The right here is Queen's College, and right away ahead is Cave-Hill Road. So we're gonna pull left now, as opposed to going down Cave-Hill Road. And Cave-Hill, as you know, is where the University of the West Indies is. And we're going into Claremont Road now. Cave-Hill is where the University of the West Indies is, and well-known academic institution, and so you can imagine how many students there are living in the vicinity. This is more of an upscale area now, in the same St. James. But of course Cave-Hill is a St. Michael area, so that would suggest that we are a bit close to the border. But this turn gives you a fantastic view of this mosque, relatively new. Any Barbadians out there who know this area, we are just exiting Claremont Meadows. And this facility here is very new, a few years. This area is very well populated by the Muslim community, who have built up themselves over the years, and they built this facility. There was a big opening when it was done. The Muslim community have moved out here. These are not vehicles of residence, these are vehicles for sale, because there's someone out here selling vehicles. circular road. We were turning through here just now. We just went around and came right back out. Take a nice cool drive through Claremont Road. Needless to say, there are several neighborhoods inside of here, all of them well appointed, nice homes. There's a gated community in here, Crystal Heights, as you can see. You can't get in here unless you resident or visiting a resident. The walls and the security features. Crystal Heights, that's a gated community in there. And then of course just the regular neighborhood. You can find several beautiful properties in here, apartments for rent. The rain is threatening our recording. It interferes with the camera and it competes with the focus, so we have no idea what this is doing to the recording. But you have a general idea what in here is like. Very nice residential area. Properties. Crystal Boulevard, that's the name of this road. And we are right now on the border to St. Michael, Clearview Heights. Somewhere around here, according to the map, is where the parish ends. So we're just gonna turn in here, this little cul-de-sac, to stay within St. James. Just look for somewhere to turn. touching St. Michael there, so that shows you on the map. We are just at the bottom of St. James, really. Or I should say the south. That sounds a bit more sophisticated and a bit more in keeping with someone doing a tour. So if we had continued there, we would get to Warren's. Done a drive of Warren's. So we're back in front of Queen's College, and left takes us down to Cave Hill, and we'll just take a pause for the traffic light. Okay, so that's some nice areas: Crystal Boulevard, Crystal Heights, Husbands, Prior Park. Those are the areas in St. James that are, well, I mean, all the areas in St. James are well known, but those are some of the more popular areas. Covered Fitz Village, Prospect. So we are at the south of St. James at the moment, the narrow section, just bordering St. Thomas a short while ago, and now St. Michael. The rain is easing up, so we can turn off the wiper and make our way back. So we're back on Thorpe's Main Road, which leads into Holders Hill. We're passing Dr. Murray's office, Sandra Husband's constituency office again. And we make a left turn here. And this area will bring back a lot of memories to any University of the West Indies alumni in any part of the world, or I should say Cave Hill University of the West Indies alumni in any part of the world. I am sure you are about to take a trip down memory lane, because this area here is highly concentrated for students at the university. Almost every home in this area and every neighborhood in this area has student accommodation. There's no development in this area. To the right is Oxnards Crescent. Just do a turn here, quick turn. There's no area here, there's no development in here that does not have student accommodation. This area enjoys proximity to the university, and this route that we're on is where the number 3 ZR drivers pass, so you can easily hop on a ZR and get to the campus. Western Light Church of the Nazarene. Let's pop in. It's not open now, obviously, so we're just gonna highlight it. Western Light Church of the Nazarene. Big facility out here. This is where the St. James people of this denomination attend church. And they have all these neighborhoods, and we can't do all. This is the Oxnards main road. Oxnards, Oxnards, Tulip Drive. All here is where the students, this spot here should be very well known to these former students. Anybody planning to come to Barbados to study at UE, this is where you will live if you opt to live off campus. And every turn here has, like, this is Tulip Drive on the left. A lot of students live in these homes here. Turn into Oxnards. The sign says Oxnards. Oxnards. I'm sure some of you are watching this and thinking, I used to live there. These houses here on the right and the left, this is where students live. They live in a room. This is Ivy Walk in Oxnards. They live in a room or an apartment on the side or below. Just look at this home here. You can see some louvers at the bottom. That's a studio apartment down there. So you live with the owners of the property, and you become almost like their family, part of the family for your 2 or 3 years here as a student. You become part of the Barbadian culture. Oops. That's a bit of a blind corner. So you have Croton Drive on the left here. And of course we are getting close to St. Michael again, because if you all remember from the St. Michael Drive, we were on this very road and we turned off somewhere around Wanstead Heights. But this piece here is still in St. James, and we just turn off into here. All in here is St. James, Wanstead Heights. Then notice as you ascend, the quality of the properties change. Look at all those apartments there. You can actually see their university students there in that apartment. We won't be too intrusive, but you can see some students there. These are all university students living in these apartments. Independence Drive to the left. You can see some lovely houses up here. Desert Rose Drive. You notice those cell towers in the background there. Those were visible when we were on the other side by Husbands. So we're just on the opposite side, because to the far right we are literally behind Queen's College right now, but further back. You can't access it because you would have to be driving through properties. gorgeous animal though. And it brings you to the end. You're gonna have to turn by going up on this. Very, very narrow road here. So to the left you can actually see the mosque from here. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. To the left out there, let's see. To the far left, that's where the mosque is. Look at this beautiful animal. Big bull. See this Muslim guy here walking with his, they probably just had prayers or something. So you see the kind of neighborhood, you could see how upscale this area is. Just very, very close to the university. This road should be familiar everybody because we drove down this road when we explored St. Michael, and we spoke about this being the boundary. So we treat this road as the border, because to the left is St. Michael and to the right is St. James, according to the map. So you know, we get a lot of comments anytime we get things wrong. According to the map, that line there was the boundary. So we're in St. James proper, and we just turned up. We just made a right turn. We just made a right turn there where you see that car turning. A grey car, and now this vehicle, not this one, this vehicle is turning right. That's where we just went up, but we're turning left here into West Terrace, where this car just exited, and this area here is real popular. West Terrace. West Terrace is a densely populated area that has all of the avenues from 1st to 16th. This is avenue number 1, and this is the area where the late former Prime Minister Owen Arthur, where his private home was located, or is located, I should say. This area, there are many students who live in here. And 2nd Avenue, West Terrace. This is 2nd Avenue on the left. The late Prime Minister, the late former Prime Minister Owen Arthur. This is his stomping ground. This is where he lived. And this main road here, West Terrace Gardens main road, will take us right through to all of the avenues. So this is 3rd Avenue on the left, 4th Avenue on the left. Again, this is a well-known area to many Caribbean nationals who studied at the university. All of these homes, sometimes the entire house was rented, not just a room or not just an annex. The homes here are designed, they are designed to accommodate students. A rather large one on the left here. And as you can see, we drove down number 4 and came up number 3. I think this is 3rd Avenue that we just exited. So this is the main road, and this is 4th Avenue, 5th, 6th. I think you could get the idea. So we'll go right through. And all along here, it's well known. So my information is that in days of old, the government took this area as a housing solution. Anybody in Trinidad that wants a comparison, think of a Diamond Vale, and the houses mainly had similar designs, such as these down here. You can see similar designs. And then over the years, this is Avenue 13, over the years, various homeowners remodeled and went up or down or across and changed the designs, made it more comfortable, and also to accommodate student rental income. So this is 16th Avenue here. Right, so you can see all the way down. there's around, you can see a little bench out there. You can sit and look out to the ocean. Because remember, this is the west coast. You're looking over the west coast. Look at this house. You can see, you can look at it and see where a student would live. So that's the economic value that a university brings to an area. Students will always need accommodation, and off-campus accommodation is usually preferred over on campus for various reasons. This is another area, newer. But I believe West Terrace goes from 1st to 16th Avenue. This says West Plain Avenue. This bush here, you would get to see panoramic view of the ocean. So that's West Terrace. I don't believe this area though is called West Terrace. This seems to be a different part of there seems to be another residential area, but this is 16th Avenue here. This is the end of West Terrace. Right? So you can see the homes in here. And I hope this brought back fond memories for many of you. And it's always nice when we read the comments from some of our subscribers. It's almost like if we've developed a friendship with some of you, especially those who share memories. There was this one memory that was shared of how the area was before it was developed, and one of our subscribers who now lives in Canada. It's always nice to hear from you, and as you reminisce about the area. Right, so that's another area there to the left. We're back at the point where we're on Oxnards main road. There's a sign there that says West Terrace Durance Project. So maybe that's the area there next to West Terrace that we just stumbled upon. So West Terrace is an area that we earmarked for the St. James series, mainly because of the subscribers that we have. When they share with us their history, we know that that area there would be a highly desirable area for our drive. So hopefully some of you, welcome to Melbourne Sports Club. That's on the left. Hopefully some of you would have seen something that sparked a memory. And we hope that that would cause you to like the video, literally by clicking the thumbs up sign or the thumbs up icon. bottom of the video. If you click that, that causes other people to know that it's something worth looking at, and it also causes other people in your base to see it. So this area here, this house here, this big wooden structure, which is a combination of wall and wood, there was a fire there a few years ago, and thank God it was caught, because that entire structure would have been taken up with that fire. So we passed here a while ago when we turned, and just to give you a different perspective, this right turn in the middle of all of the affluence of St. James, you still have residential areas that are lower income and also densely populated. So this area is called Hanesville, as far as I can recall. And it's a sort of like a plannings. And this is just in the middle of St. James. You wouldn't even think Hanesville Day Nursery to the left. So we turn back to the entrance to show you, because we drove in here to do the Oxnards and West Terrace piece, and now we turned around to show you inside of here. So this is Hanesville. Tend to be in the news a lot. The Honorable Sandra Husbands always speaks about her constituents from Hanesville. This area here is densely populated. Government, what do they call it? National Housing Corporation townhouses. So the votes in this area make or break elections for St. James South. And you can see all the guys are sitting down out there having their little beers and having a little talk. St. James South was once represented in Parliament by Mr. Donville Innes. He represented the Democratic Labour Party, and he took over from Henrietta Elizabeth Thompson, aka Liz Thompson. See the guys liming there? That's something that I enjoy seeing. So it went from Liz Thompson to now Sandra Husbands. And I don't know who was before Liz Thompson, but of course that information is quite easy to obtain. There's a little play park down there. This is the same St. James. This is the same St. James that is known for its affluence and excess. Chickens are in cages there. They can't do much. I guess they are maybe some sort of rural / urban farming. I don't know how to call that. Alright, so from West Terrace to Hanesville. Seems to be some sort of solar farm going up here. I'm not quite sure. We're back on the Thorpe's main road. Past Avis Pharmacy again. So if we continued along this road, we go right back down to Holders Hill, but we're going to turn off here to drive you through Fitz Village. Another big name in St. James. Thank you. Trowel Plastics there. There's a sign for Trowel Plastics. That's a company that does a sort of a paint solution. St. John the Baptist Church and Pastoral Center to the left. Cricket ground to the right. I don't think there's anybody in Barbados who does not know about Fitz Village. We just turn into the Shop Smart. This is a natural competitor to Price Smart, but this is locally owned. This is Shop Smart here, where you can get your items similar to Price Smart, other groceries. There's parking all along here. It. See the sign, Shop Smart Inc. So much for so little, they say. We essentially do advertising for so many places. They should start giving us some royalties. But that's not what our mission is, of course. Anyone watching this for the first time, this experiment is nothing more than a father and a son who who spend a lot of time together driving around, enjoying beautiful buildings and learning the road network in Barbados, who opted to share the information with, or share the experience with the world by creating this YouTube channel and just doing drives. That's all it is. We have no agenda, we have no monetary interest. We're just doing a drive to share with everyone. So you can see behind there is a nice residential area. Some nice homes. And here you can see the sign for Mr. Kerry Simmons on the right, the constituency office. This is St. James Central, apparently. Didn't even realize that. This is St. James Central. Kerry Simmons, Hoyt's Wesleyan Holiness. Fitz Village. One of the first places I ever heard about in Barbados was Fitz Village. So, from my perspective, which may be wrong, but that's just my experience, Fitz Village is a very popular area, very well known. And this is the entrance for Troll Plastic. They sell paints and brushing solution and all sorts of materials that you can see people use to apply color to their homes. It has a sort of a rough finish. It's not like a smooth paint. It has a very rough finish to it, and lasts long. Shortman Auto Parts. Interesting name. Sure we can pass there. I don't think that vehicle was there a short while ago. We're just gonna pause for a bit for them to make way. So we leave Fitz Village, make our way back to Highway 2A via Prior Park again. So you should recall from the video, if you're watching this in one go, this is Bagatelle Park to the right, by the way. If you're watching this in one go, you'll see, you should recall where the road was closed in Prior Park. Alright, if you recall that, this little roundabout here shows us the other side of that road. So we'll just go down here. You see the road is closed. It says detour. That's the end of the road. So from this end we can see that it's resurfaced here, but it's not open to the public as yet. There's a nice place that they sell food as well. It's called Curbside Cafe. So you can see a car coming up there. You can exit the area but not enter. So that road is still under construction, and that's the other end of Prior Park. And this is now Bagatelle Terrace on the left. All there's Bagatelle. This area here feeds into Redmond's village. So you see the Prior Park Road that we got cut off of comes all the way through here, and then this takes us into Bagatelle. A lot of traffic here though, because the road that you're seeing ahead of you heading north, this is Highway 2A. So if you've journeyed with us over the last 12 months, by now you should know that Highway 2A goes all the way from Warrens to the north of the island, and across there is Bagatelle. We won't get there today, but you can see we should really be in this left lane here because we're going straight, but hopefully we'll get a break and somebody might let us in. See, to the right of us would be St. Thomas, and to the left we just kind of inch into St. Thomas a bit. And there's so much traffic here, we're gonna have to pause the drive for a bit. Know what's causing all of this backup. But we are on the boundary of St. James and St. Thomas. So as we exited Prior Park Road, straight ahead was that Bagatelle Gardens. That was into St. Thomas. And so it's to be rude, we'll just beg for an entry here. Thank you. We just did the wrong thing, but since we're recording, we can't really afford to use all of the drive just sitting in traffic. So we're gonna pause intermittently here because this is Highway 2A. Just on the boundary of St. James and St. Thomas. If you look at your map, you'll see that we are actually getting in and out of St. Thomas at the moment, but that's not our what you call it, focus at the moment, because St. Thomas and St. George will be the last two parishes that we do. Sorry, I should have let that car in. I wasn't paying attention. we'll do at this point is that we will just pause because there's too much traffic until we nip back into St. James. So we got through some of the traffic and we are about to exit Highway 2E, and we didn't envisage so much traffic. There seems to be some sort of problem higher up. So the plan was to exit Pratt Park Road, dip in and out of St. Thomas just to get back into St. James, as we are doing now. So we're going down Molyneux Road, which we've touched on before in another drive. We are in the vicinity of the illustrious Sandy Lane Resort. See, because St. James is shaped, it's narrow at the bottom but it's fat at the top, you sort of dip in and out of St. James at that section going into St. Thomas. So to get through to the top of St. James, you have to touch St. Thomas and then get back into the heart, or the north, should say, of St. James. Hotel and Old Nine, Sandy Lane. Sandy Lane is one of the wealthiest places in all of Barbados. Here's the Sandy Lane Golf Club and Golf Course. We're actually driving through this road that takes us right in the middle of it. And of course, the Sandy Lane Golf Course is world renowned. It's one of the top golf courses in terms of what a golf course is rated. It's one of the top. In fact, Tiger Woods has played here and got married here at the Sandy Lane Resort and stayed here. So Barbados was very much in the news at that time when Tiger Woods got married. Not certain, but it was a good decision because we all know how that marriage ended. But of course, Barbados still got some publicity out of it. But it's a well-known golf course and highly regarded internationally. To the left here is Dairy Meadows. That's another upscale area. And this little road brings us right back out to connect the dots to Holders Hill. So we hope you're understanding the road network here. back onto Holders Hill. Holders Hill, this area has its own private polo club, and here you can see the Holders Polo Club. You can see the playing field there, polo field, and this along this road, Holders House. There's an area out there. There are some very, very, very large houses to the right here. So when there's Holders season, people come up here for the various shows. And Holders House, that's an area of interest. Holders House, this is where there are many events during the Holders season, and you have concerts and cultural events really. Have I can't say the name of what I'm trying to say, but they have it's a sort of artistic season where there are music recitals and plays and so on. That's where they take place, at Holders House. And the sign at the entrance here of Holders Hill says Holders Season. So when it's Holders Season, you get all sorts of classy concerts and shows. This is where they take place, inside of here. Oh, the road is just horrible. Okay, so back onto Holders Hill. This is the right turn here, taking you into the Holders Polo Resort. This road, we go back down because we don't want to spend the time driving through St. Thomas. So as I said earlier, it's in the shape of an upside down boot. This is the roti den. Some nice roti here. And right next door to it is a place called Fuchsia, and we're gonna put that on the timestamp in both drives. Fuchsia. Fuchsia. They sell smoothies and treats and bread and teas and bubble tea, croissants, coffee, all sorts of things in that nice little establishment there. So we're back on Highway 1. Oh, wow, missed that. In the heart of St. James. This is Paynes Bay, St. James. Back on the West Coast Road. geographically named Highway 1. Highway 1 leads into Highway 1B and it takes us up into St. Peter, which is our next drive. This is the thing about doing drives on a Saturday. You have to contend with all of the traffic and it eats into the recording time. So we just had to pause and get through some traffic in St. Thomas to get back into St. James to keep this drive focused on St. James. And we are about to pass the famous 1 Sandy Lane, aka Rihanna's property. Here it is on the left. When you make left turns here, you're gonna encounter some very, I can't even say huge, they are very grand properties. To the left, I'm aware of one that is worth over $54 million Barbados, that it cost $54 million Barbados to construct, actually, with a glass balcony going all the way across from one side of the property to the next. We are right at the entrance of the Sandy Lane Hotel, the Sandy Lane Resort. We also covered here in part 1 of the drive. Is moving very, very slowly. So our drive is going over the time that we had allocated for this tour, but unfortunately there is not much we can do at this point, and we've covered a lot of this area already. And there's some sort of a fair going on here. You can see this bubble here with the balloons and some children playing in it. It's a lot of fun for them. So we're back in Holetown now. I wonder if this is a Holetown festival. This looks just like the Holetown festival, that is an annual event. Police around. One of the yellow buses being spoken to by the hard-working police. These people are a real menace in society. These public service vehicles, especially the ZRs and the yellow buses, and they give a bad name to the drivers who take these roles so seriously. The role of transporting people. This is a tourist oriented economy, and those people have one of the most important jobs in this country, transportation. And there are some of them who do such horrible things on the road. And if there are 100 drivers and one bad driver, the one bad driver makes it bad for everybody else. And it's just really ridiculous, a lot of the things that they do. They cause a lot of accidents, they create a lot of road rage and frustration. And I can't say that it's the majority because I don't know the statistic, but I know there are many good ones, but I know there are several bad drivers who do all sorts of illegal things on the road to make $3.50 per head. This is Holetown, St. James, that is very active today. And this vehicle ahead of us is intent on making the drive that much slower. But this is the nature of driving at this time on a Saturday. Again, you have the Lime Grove Lifestyle Center on the right. This bus is a Spikestone bus going to St. Peter. Just pass a garbage truck. We have a subscriber who loves to look at the garbage trucks, especially comparing the ones in Trinidad and Tobago to the ones here. We hope he saw that. Some motorcyclist man. And to the left here, this construction site is the Holetown Hotel that is going up in Barbados. It is going to add to the high-end luxury stock of hotels in Barbados. This is it going up here on the left. Well, not going up yet, but whatever foundation work is happening. Soon from now we'll be turning right just at the St. James, what was the St. James Secondary School, that is now the Frederick Smith Secondary School. So we spoke about Queen's College in St. James as one of the schools in St. James, but here we have this is Trent in St. James, and here we have the St. James Secondary School. Now known as the Frederick Smith. Oh, that says St. James Primary School. Sorry, that's the wrong school. It says St. James Primary School all along that entrance there. This one is the St. James Secondary School. This This is the entrance. And it's now called the Frederick Smith Secondary School. And interesting how this is in keeping with, there's even a portrait of Sir Frederick. It's interesting how primary school gates are always closed and secondary schools are somehow open. It's very interesting to see this. So the primary school is still called St. James Primary, but this is now known as the Frederick Smith Secondary School, aka Sleepy Smith, they called him. I gather he was once an attorney general in Barbados. Not quite familiar with all of his history, but I know that he is a celebrated Barbadian. And I remember when he died, his funeral was broadcast on national television, and I believe he had an official funeral. So we make our way along Highway C to get back to the ABC Highway, and we will be in St. James. So St. James is narrow to the bottom but fat to the top. And to get to the top, St. James North, we have to touch St. Thomas based on the road network. And just our luck, there's a truck there slowing us down. This should have just been a nice fast drive up. A lot of little hiccups in this drive, but hopefully in the end it will work out. Notice how beautiful the area is, very green and calming, healing even. Very relaxing area. Approach Highway 2A in Lancaster, but the structures that you see to the right are synonymous with the Hope project. You can see these two here with the photovoltaic. The Hope project was an experiment, a housing solution between government and just pause on that. So this is where we came down in part 1 of the drive. You can see Shifet here. That road there takes you up into Orange Hill. So we just take this roundabout. That's the road to Orange Hill, and this is the Shifet where we came down the last time in part 1. So I was saying about the Hope project. The arrangement was that the Hope company known as Hope would develop the land which would be given to the homeowner, and the homeowner would construct a house at their own expense, most likely by way of a loan. and in exchange for the land, the government would have rights to their roof for 20 years to generate solar energy. So over 20 years, the homeowner would repay the government for the land by leasing their roof space to the government, for the government to generate energy. It was a very creative housing solution, and at the moment the Hope project is sort of stalled, but a few people did take access to properties, but right now that whole thing is on standstill. We are on Highway 2A, the Ronald Map Highway, and encountering more traffic backup, but we are just going to power through it until we get to the end of today's drive. So what we did was to cut out all of that waste, where we were going through all of that traffic for a long time to get to this point, the junction between Westmorland and Apes Hill. So if we turned left here, we would take you down to the Royal Westmorland Luxury Resort, which eventually leads to the Coast Road, or to turn right, which takes you into Apes Hill. And if you recall, when we started this drive, we started at the back of Apes Hill on Orange Hill. So we started at the back of Apes Hill, and today we will end the drive at the front of it. Traffic lights go. Oh, there seems to be a wedding here at this church, Westmorland Church of the Nazarene. Those traffic lights are very contentious. They take very long and create a lot of backup, and they are now the most despised instruments in North Barbados. But some years ago they were launched with much fanfare, and they were the heroes of the North because they were placed there as a solution to road fatalities. This is another residential area, Whitehall, nice area. They were placed there because of road fatalities, because several people lost their lives there crossing the road. It's a very crazy junction, and there was a big outcry, and everybody was complaining. Since Silas Anglican Church on the left, everyone was complaining because it was so horrible, and everybody was being knocked down, and government needs to do something about this. And the member of parliament for the area rode into town as a hero, almost as Jesus did when he rode in on his donkey. And in no time at all, he was a hero. Everybody was happy about the traffic lights, and now is the Good Friday of those traffic lights because of the backup of traffic that it creates for those coming from the north. So I don't know what's the next step for them to fix that traffic, because it's a clear choice of road fatalities or traffic congestion. This area is St. Silas Heights, I believe. This is one of the upscale areas in St. James. We can't do all of it because we've lost a lot of time with the backup of traffic, but just giving you a quick in and out so you can get an idea of the area. Very large properties in here. This is one of the well-to-do areas, St. Silas, and there's so many turn-offs in here that you could probably spend an hour in here just by itself. Some really nice designs. Nice homes, nice colors. St. Silas Heights. This is a well-known area, very popular, very popular at the moment. It has its own little roundabout. So we come close to the end of today's drive. Here we have the Apes Hill Polo Club to the right, where there are very upscale properties, very large. There's a whole polo field in there. Polo is synonymous with wealth in Barbados. Very expensive sport and reserved for those who can afford to partake. And on the left is Apes Hill, the entrance to Apes Hill. That is a luxury golf course that is not open to the public. It's members only, or you have to somehow be affiliated with properties in there, and you can't even drive in there unless you have stated business, and it's multi-million-dollar properties inside of there. And this is the front of it. So we did mention we started today's drive. We started the parish of St. James at the behind side, the back of Apes Hill, and then we just showed you the front of it. So the entrance and the exit, that's how we started St. James. So we've moved from the north of St. James to the center, to the south, and we've covered all of St. James to the best of our ability. We haven't covered every single neighborhood, but these two drives, these two recordings allow for a comprehensive understanding of the parish of St. James. So this is the end of it, and we're making our way out of St. James from Apes Hill to rejoin Orange Hill, where we started. And here we are, back on Orange Hill. You all should remember this, endeavor number 1. This is where we were in part 1. So we've come full circle. This brings us to the end of our exploring the parish of St. James. From here we move to St. Peter, and quite ironically, during this month, in the regathering activities, Barbados is currently covering St. Peter. So maybe we might be able to pick up some of the activities in one of our drives. We just passed the St. Silas Primary School, and if you've been paying attention, we've done all of this drive already. So when we come to this point here, we want to end this drive just like part 1, with a lovely view of the ocean, and we've achieved that right here. Well, sort of. So thank you for exploring St. James with us, and please remember to share this video with your friends and family who live overseas, who want to either remember Barbados or come here on a vacation. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. D&J Drives is saying thank you and goodbye until next time.